Live from New York, it's Ask a Mittened Engineer.
Crabs. Welcome to another Ask an Engineer. It's freezing cold outside, but it's okay because we've got our digital mittens, which we'll talk about shortly. It's me, Lady Ada, the slightly sick engineer, and with me is Mr. Lady Ada,
Hello.
who is healthy as ever. Congratulations, you never get sick. I get sick for you.
Yeah.
We got an exciting show tonight with all sorts of cool projects, videos, products, tutorials, glowy LEDs, discount codes, coloring books. Tell them what's on tonight's show.
On tonight's show, the code is Matrix. I can't tell you what the Matrix is. You have to use the code to understand.
Should I take the red mittens or the blue mittens?
Blue.
Great.
I think so. Okay.
Yay.
Show and tell, full house, 9 people. We'll talk about who is on the show and tell. Amazing night. Packet of mailbags and stop by. We're going to talk about the Adafruit jobs board. We're going to show something very cool from Hackaday. Some big, amazing, giant news in the world of open source hardware. It's huge. Adafruit learning system. All the best places to learn electronics and more online. Time travel. We're going to look in the past of hackers, makers, artists, engineers, people who have changed the world and more. Wearables. We've got a couple of videos. 3D. Big stuff going on. And then new products. We're gonna ask your questions, give a trivia question, all that and more on, you guessed it,
Wait, we also have top
Ask an
secret.
Engineer. Yeah, I don't know if we do have top secret. I'll try to remember to get it in there, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shh. I said nothing.
Where did it go? It's over there.
Okay.
It's over there. Okay, yeah, okay. So
Okay.
Ask an Engineer. Whew. Yeah,
Technical
see.
difficulties.
No, I put it there.
No, I know.
but,
no, I'm just saying that if they watch the entire show, they might see a top secret. It's not out yet. Coming soon.
Yeah, it's gonna be in there right in the pie section. Okay, it's time to pay some bills.
Okay.
You ready? Code's Matrix.
And
Okay.
why is it called the Matrix?
Because we have a product that's a RGB Matrix hat.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why.
Not just the movie.
Not just a movie.
Also like these things.
Yeah, you have some matrices.
Ooh, matrices. I'll show this off soon.
Okay. First up, we take Bitcoin still. If you have Bitcoin, you should probably spend them right away.
If you have Bitcoin and you're
probably get rid
like,
of 'em.
I want to get out of this, which, I don't know.
Yeah.
Or you could just buy low, sell high,
Yeah.
whatever.
And the other thing is, right now, we have free UPS ground for orders $200 more in the continental US. So do that. Show and tell. Every single week, we have a show and tell. 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Anyone in the world can show and share their project. And tonight it was a full house, 9 people, and we had some amazing things. So, Lady Ada, what did people have on the show
Okay, I have
tonight?
to take off the mittens.
You take off your mittens.
Okay. All right. It's my turn. Okay. Start off with Tony DeCola, who is Team Adafruit from Adafruit Northwest, and he showed off his new segment called Silly Pi Tricks, where he does silly things with his Raspberry Pi. Today he connected up his Raspberry Pi to a Sony Watchman, which is a small portable cathode tube display from the 80s. If you're older, you may remember these. This was a portable, cathode tube was like this long, and you could watch like analog TV broadcasts on it. I actually remember, I think I got one from a yard sale like mid-90s or something. But he got it working with his Raspberry Pi by using like an RF adapter, and like he can, run Scratch on a Sony Watchman. It was kind of silly and ridiculous. So you should go watch it.
Someone mentioned this might, Chris Young said this might be the smallest CRT display.
Oh, for a computer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird to have such a small. It's a teeny CRT because
Yeah.
they had to fit the tube into a portable. I don't even know how the hell they powered it. Like you just need like 100 volts to power a CRT.
Yeah.
Noah and Pedro have been doing some stuff with the Type A 3D printer that we got for them, including building a ginormous Zelda hook from one of the modern Zelda games. This is like after they just had a boomerang. And apparently, you also get a hook.
Yeah, why
And
not?
so it's this gigantic hook thing, and I don't know how the hell they printed it. It must have taken like 4 days. And they've been doing semi-flex tests, and they've also been doing experiments with copper fill and bronze fill, which are the new metal particle PLA filaments that we have, and they'll have it on tomorrow on their show. So if you're interested in that stuff, check out the show tomorrow. 3D Hangouts on Thursdays. Noah and Pedro, every Thursday at 3 p.m. Next up, we had Chris Young, who has been working more on his IR remote, and he's upgraded his IR remote from a Pinocchio, which is a small board, to a Yun, which is a full-fledged Linux computer. It's an Arduino Yun, and so he can use a large touch screen, which is easier for him to press the buttons of, so he can basically, has a full-featured IR remote without having to press these teeny little buttons, which are annoying to press. Giannis came by and showed off a cool audio synth that compiles, has kind of like a Max MSP patch system that compiles straight into firmware and is programmed onto this little processor, and it can do like audio filtering or like a MIDI synth. It's called Axolotl. We will post about it later. Mikhail came by with a Kickstarter for 3D printed hand tape feeders, so you can put your feeders in and then pull back the tape with your finger. If you have a lot of SMT stuff you're doing, you're probably used to getting stuff in cut tape, but it's really annoying to like organize them and like peel back and easily pick up. So this might be very helpful for you. Maybe he'll also post up the files people can print their own. Rick Mann came by with a very beautiful, was it 1939 radio? What was the date from the radio? I think it's
Oh, yeah. It was really old.
Yeah, I think it was like 1939.
It looked like something out of that movie that you were playing, the BioShock movie. It looked like something out of that.
That was like 1930. Yeah, so 30s or 40s, large radio, and he gutted it and it wasn't working, so he put a BeagleBone Black in it with an audio amplifier and the NeoPixel ring, and made some mechanical structure so he could like tune into podcasts. So it acts like a podcatcher, and it'll download like This American Life and Prairie Home Companion. Hopefully just Prairie Home Companion. That's all you'd want to listen on a 1939 radio. And then he can, it's battery powered too, so you don't even have to plug it in, and he can listen to his podcasts.
Yeah, cool NeoPixel ring.
Yeah, it's very beautiful.
And it's like a podcatcher. It downloads the podcasts, and then you can cycle through them with a little web interface.
Yeah, I think he even had like a staticky sound to it, which is kind of nice. Yeah. Like on purpose, like between the
yeah, when I did the Engadget podcast, those files are like 10 years old. There's retro files. Maybe I could put in a retro radio.
Like old vintage podcasts?
Yeah.
That's cool. People talk about like vintage podcasts. Like, what is it?
Yeah, it's when we recorded with like Soundflower, and like it was complicated, and like you had to use all sorts of crazy things to get it to record. It never really worked that well.
Where podcasts are making a comeback.
Yeah.
Roberto came by. He's been working on making 3D models. So he's taking images and then extruding them. It's like the first thing you do when you learn to 3D models. You take a shape and then you give it depth. And he's been 3D printing out these little figurines. Mm-hmm. C. Scott showed off his senior design project for school, which was a temperature controller with 4 temperature probes, and then I guess it was a cycler, so it would turn on or off if the temperature was too high or too low to try to keep the temperature at a constant rate. This is like basically a sous vide controller, but made in like 1987. The beautiful LCD with the Z80 with like a hand-taped, hand-etched boards, and he said he won his senior design classes project. Like he did
and he's still friends with his engineering co-student.
Yeah.
And he's at ILM now. So.
MIT doesn't do senior design projects.
It's
there's
neat.
There's a couple courses that have like capstone, but like the EE department doesn't, because like all the E's and computer scientists hate each other. Like they can't work in teams. So like they have some classes, but they can't make it so you don't graduate if you don't work with teams.
I like how he still had his original project, and then it got commercialized, and he had that one too.
That's actually a good idea. I do see that sometimes the senior design projects are from companies that they have a request for like engineers to design something for them. And then actually there was one class at MIT, it was very nice. They had, it was either MIT or CMU, I can't remember now, where they had a nonprofit actually made a request. So they had like Engineers Without Borders say like, hey, we want this design, and they would have like the seniors spent all semester on it. So it's a good way of getting free engineering time.
Okay.
And then finally,
we had a VJ,
video I totally got distracted. Look at what you distracted me. VJ Pussycat came by with her VJ rig, and she usually does these dots that spin on a turntable, and she was tired of spinning this turntable by hand. It was a Lazy Susan, not like a true turntable. You have to be transparent, because on a document scanner, and she used that as part of like the input to her VJ setup. So instead of sitting there and spinning this lazy Susan all day, she added a continuous rotation continuous rotation servo, an Arduino and potentiometer, so she could tweak and adjust the speed and direction on the fly. It's a very simple project, but extremely useful. So you can check out her shows. She plays in San Francisco Bay Area, DJ Pussycat.
Okay.
Throwing down the server code.
All right. All participants on the show and tell get an as seen on the show and tell sticker. Just email us support@adafruit.com and you get an as seen on show and tell sticker. Lady Ada, since you're a little sniffly, I'm going to tell people how they get on the show and tell.
Yeah, why don't you do it?
Yeah.
I'm going to drink some fluids.
Yeah, so here's how you get on the show and tell. You go to our Google Plus page, and you can just search online and just search for Adafruit Google Plus, or you can go to google.com/+Adafruit. It'll get you there, I believe. And all you have to do is look for our post that has, hey, the show and tell's coming up, has a little Adabot and everything, and just comment there, because that means you've added yourself to Adafruit, so we can add you to the show and tell circle. And then around 7:25-ish, we send out the invites. We have about 500 people, so you might have to be hanging out there to get on the show and tell, because sometimes it's booked. But don't worry, we do it every single week. And speaking of, reminder to myself.
Also, refresh your Google Plus page, because sometimes people say they didn't get their invite.
Gets her. And you know what?
But sometimes it doesn't show up. You have to refresh a couple times. We don't know why. It's just a Google thing.
Yeah.
We're sorry about that.
Okay. And just a reminder, show and tell is 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Wednesday night. And Ask an Engineer, the thing you're watching now, is every Wednesday at 8 p.m.
Whoa, check it out.
That's right. Okay, Pack the Mailbag. Going to stop by. We're going to do a couple things, and then we're going to talk about the Hackaday book that came in. Pack the Mailbag, these are letters from people out there around the world, and they tell us nice things. We read this at our weekly all-company meeting. And so this is what you guys are sending to us. This is from Stuart. Stuart, anyways, I'm one of the mentors for FRC Robotics team, Go Team 2502, Eden Prairie Talon Robotics. I'm mostly a software geek, but usually know which end of a soldering iron to pick up. I've been luring kids into learning more about electronics and programming, side by quietly playing from a Flora plus NeoPixel unit strips and panels that seems to be working, since they're a good-sized group that is really jazzed about getting their hands on Arduino, expect an order soon. And the final kudo, one of the goals is to get more young women onto the team and into the guts of the robot. Adafruit is one of my chief allies in this. Oh, this stuff comes from Adafruit, that cool startup by this woman in New York. Pop over to the website, and of course, there's Lady Ada. You can almost see some of the culture bias melting away as young ladies basically think, wait, I can have it all. I can be smart without giving up style, and I can be stylish without giving up being smart. This, of course, applies to the guys, too.
Anyways, but they have to be okay with getting a cold once in a while.
Yeah.
Being sniffly. But I'm still glamorous while sniffly, right?
Yeah. Anyways, thanks for being an awesome role model. Be well, Stuart.
Okay.
All right, that was really nice.
Thank you, Stuart.
Today you got listed in this thing, 26 women to watch in tech.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Tonight we're going to watch you sneeze a little bit.
I'm totally going to take some
26
NyQuil.
women in tech to watch sneeze.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to...
Adafruit Jobs Board. So we do Adafruit Job Board every single week as a feature. We have a jobs board that anyone can post to. It just has to be a maker looking for a cool job, so you post your skills, or a cool company looking for a maker. We don't allow headhunters. We don't allow any weird scams or anything crazy like that. The only people that approve the jobs is Lady Ada and I. We look at it and we say, yeah, that's a pretty good maker job. So this week on the big board, it is a robotics and computer science teacher. The Rosemary Hall seeks a full-time teacher of robotics and computer science with the start date of August 24th, 2015. Candidates with experience teaching mathematics and/or statistics are preferred. Ideal candidates expect to have 3 to 5 years of teaching experience and a master's degree. So if you're thinking of being a teacher, this sounds like a perfect job, because you could teach robotics and computer science. And you know what? We really need that. So please go do that. All right. Next up. As everybody probably saw last week, our coloring book that we worked on for a year, R is for Robots, is out. It is here. We're very happy about this.
What?
You're going to show the props.
Yeah.
And one of the things I wanted to show real quick.
Well, we're really proud of this. You spent a year on it. I want to show
Yeah.
off a little bit. Okay, wait. And then you want me to overhead show?
Yeah, what I wanted to do real quick.
Wait.
Don't change this next time.
Sorry.
Leave this the way it was. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, so this is a coloring book. I'm going to show a couple pages here. And, Adafruit, we're a very digital company, and you can download this to Creative Commons file. It's all great. And you can print it out and share it yourself. And this is our new coloring
Did
book.
we get these in?
Yeah, they're in.
Is this one-
They're in and they're for sale.
Okay.
And you can also download it. And this is just to get kids going. This is ours, Roomba. And this is one of my favorite. This is the Mechanical Turk. I'll go this way. Self-driving car. So you get the point. And we were really excited about this. And then 1 week later, we got an email from our friends at Hackaday. And they said, hey, we got this thing going on. And actually, it was from a tweet that I saw it first. And the cool thing is about 10 years ago, and I'll start to go to some of the slides. About 10 years ago, I had started this site called Hackaday. And 10 years ago, almost to the month, they just had their 10-year anniversary. So I started a site called Hackaday, and I thought it would be possible to do one cool project, show a cool project every single day, 365 days a year. And I was told there's no way you're ever going to have enough content. Well, look at all the content now, 10 years later. There's probably 500.
Like 10 hacks a day.
There's probably like 500 posts collectively with all the maker sites. But one of my goals with the site was I wanted to do a comic book and a graphic novel. And they did it.
Yeah.
And so the new crew there.
This is kind of like a zine.
Yeah, so Supply Frame, who is part of Hackaday, or Hackaday is part of Supply Frame, they all work together and they have an amazing thing. It's called the Hackaday Omnibus. And special shout out to Joe Kim, who's an extremely talented artist. I had nothing to do with this at all, but when I look at it, it's the kind of the zine I always wanted. I worked with 2600 a long time ago, and I really liked the zine feel. So I thought I'd show a few pages. There's a discount for it. If you go to the Hackaday site, you can look at the code. They're doing 500 of them.
I'm just reading this real fast so I can talk about how cool this is. Yeah, there's like great color photos and projects.
Yeah, so it starts out, and this is the omnibus. That's okay. And what you can see is it's some of the original content articles. That's what this is mostly. So if you saw some of the bigger articles in there, and you can see, and they said, and this is from Mike from Hackaday. He says, print is dead. Being dead never stopped us from loving something. So really cool stuff. And as you go through here, you'll see a lot of great original art. You'll see some kind of classic Hackaday articles. And what's really neat about this is they have their space, their Hackaday contest.
This is the ultimate reality.
Yeah.
This is the pre-game, and they just showed the process and then how you win it, and then like vacuum tubes and like sonar and like fixing watches and like fixing stereos and and
so
DEF CON trips and
and then this is Bill Hurd, who did a story about Commodore, who's a very talented writer over in Hackaday now. So anyways. This is a piece of history.
There's a lot of vacuum tubes here. I just saw like 4 vacuum tubes.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of like, looks like they have a little bit more of older tech in this one, but it's a good way to start because a lot of people really love, Nixies and vacuum tubes and old computers and revitalizing stuff. So it's warm. It warms people's hearts, both literally and figuratively. Yeah, these are some really great art. Like, I really love this beautiful, look at this, like, Tesla drawing. I don't even know if this is a drawing or this is a real thing. No, this is a drawing. It's like a spray paint drawing. And, like, images of old circuit boards. So if you like electronics, but even if you are just kind of have, like, the hackery spirit, do pick this up. We'll have it in the Adafruit shop, and also it'll be available
so,
on Hackaday.
like, as of right now, which is kind of cool, if you think about it, you can get Make Magazine, you can get 2600 Magazine, you can get an Adafruit R is for robotics coloring book, you can get an E is for electronics coloring book, you can get a Hackaday Omnibus. This is very neat. This is an excellent time to be a maker.
Yeah.
This is like the dream come true.
This is the future we wanted.
Yeah.
We have it, so appreciate it.
Yeah. So anyways, I really like it. I thought they did a good job.
Remember when you were like, well, Mondo 2000 is totally not hardcore enough? Well, now you've got something hardcore enough.
Well, the thing, so it was 10 years ago, I'm like, oh, one day I'll get to this project. I want to do a Hackaday graphic novel. And now, like, people are carrying the torch. I don't have to worry about it. So, anyways. Big news in the world of open source hardware. This is the biggest news for us. This is something we announced on Thursday morning of last week.
I'm done.
Okay, I can put you on. Yeah. And we are pleased to announce Digi-Key now has the Adafruit products. So this is a big deal. Digi-Key is one of the biggest providers in the world of electronics.
I love Digi-Key.
I have a bunch of stats.
I buy stuff from Digi-Key all the time. All my prototypes are from Digi-Key stuff.
Yeah. So we're really happy about this. You've written about Digi-Key so many times. All the people that we've talked to at Digi-Key, they said, oh yeah, we always look at the Adafruit blog. We really like how you guys always talked about us. Minnesota company, a special place in my heart for Minnesota. I live there. I really like all the people there, the work ethic, and just Minnesota nice.
When I built my first Red Box, I totally called 1-800-Digi-Key and ordered a 6.5536 megahertz crystal over the phone.
Yeah.
Didn't you? Everyone did.
Okay.
You couldn't get it at 6.5536
so
megahertz
here's some
anywhere else.
Here's some stats about Digi-Key while I have a little video that's playing in the background about them. So vital stats, 1.6 billion plus in annual sales. Number of employees, 3,100. Facilities, more than 700,000 square feet. Growth rate, 19% per year. That's double digits. That's
Wait,
crazy.
You said growth, this is explosive growth.
Yeah.
Make up your mind.
Well,
Which one is it?
What, the background?
Yeah, it said growth and then it said explosive growth.
Well, it's a corporate video.
Okay.
This is what you do. You say the same thing a couple times. Manufacturers represented 650 plus. Internet orders a year, 2 million plus. Telephone calls a year, 4 million plus. Orders processed per year, 3.2 million plus. Customers served per year, 524,000. Sites served, 391,000. Orders shipped same day, 99.9%. They like stats like we do.
So crazy.
I think that's pretty neat that we're now able to get all the Adafruit stuff. So if you go to Digi-Key and search for Adafruit, you can see all of our stuff. And for the people out there who want just to buy like one little tiny part and they want it like in an envelope, that's something that Digi-Key does because that's what they've been built to do.
Also, this is great if you're like, so like at Adafruit, I don't want to sell like individual resistors and capacitors and crystal. Like I don't want to sell one of everything. I'm not really, that's not my goal. I want to sell like really cool and very interesting stuff or unique stuff that we make here. So if you're like, oh, well, I need like, you know, some op amps and like QFN, and I also need, you know, a reel of capacitors, and I also need like some weird connector, and I need a IDC cable in this particular length. And instead of placing two orders, one with us and one with Digi-Key, because of course you're buying from Digi-Key, you can always just place your order from Digi-Key. But I have a question for you, Phil. What if Digi-Key doesn't carry the Adafruit product?
I'm glad you asked.
Like, let's say I really want the new servo hat. And
That just came out now.
But like, Digi-Key doesn't know how cool it is.
Yeah.
How can I tell them if I was a customer not?
Here's the phrase you say: non-catalog request.
So all I have to do is contact them through phone, web, email, and say, I have a non-catalog request for you to carry Adafruit part number, and then give them the part number, the ID, it's like 147 or like 2621, whatever, it's like a 4-digit number, it's the product ID code, and they will stock it for you.
Yep. Yes. So there you go. And if you want to talk on the phone, you can call them and ask for that. So that's our big announcement. That's Digi-Key. We're really excited about it. If you go to Octopart and search for Adafruit stuff, you'll see that there's Arrow, Element 14, Farnell, Digi-Key, Allied Express, MCM. So we have the big distributors, and we're very happy. And so
I don't have a favorite distributor, like I don't have a favorite child, but if it was like Sophie's Choice and I had to pick like one distributor to save from the Nazis, it would be Digi-Key.
All right.
What?
Next up, Adafruit Learning System. We're running a little late tonight, late 8, but that's okay. And we got some videos ahead. So learning system, couple tutorials. This is a Trinket USB foot switch. This is really neat because the whole entire thing is under 20 bucks. So,
and it fits into the foot switch itself.
And it fits in the foot switch. So check it out. Excellent guide by Mike Barella, author of Getting Started with Trinket. Next up, this is the smartphone mittens. This is from Becky. We're going to be playing this video shortly. Basically, conductive thread will let you have smart mittens so you can touch your phone.
Yeah, and mittens keep your hands warmer than gloves, and they're super cute. And then you're making your own mittens, but you're making them like cyber mittens.
Yeah.
Cyber kittens with mittens.
Yeah. Okay. Next up, you'll be showing this off shortly. It is the Adafruit RGB matrix and real-time clock hat for Raspberry Pi. Expect to be dazzled soon. This is an amazing project. We didn't get a chance to play the video last week because Mitch Altman was on the show, but this is the sound jacket. We'll be playing it. This is Colin. Stay tuned for this video. It is hilarious.
Tough crowd.
Tough crowd tonight. Okay. And then we also have
Super Game Pie.
Super Game Pie, also a video that we're going to do tonight. So we'll get to those in a second.
I'm holding my coughing fit for the...
You can cough all you want during the videos. Okay, next up, time travel. Every Tuesday, we celebrate makers, hackers, artists, engineers, people who have changed the world, people who have made the world a better place, people who have done things that inspire and more. So we always look back on the clock. Here's a big deal. In January, it is Martin Luther King Day. In 1986, Martin Luther King Day was made a federal holiday to honor King. It was observed for the first time January 20th, 1986. It was called Martin Luther King Jr. Day following President George H.W. Bush's 1992 proclamation. The holiday is observed on the third Monday of January each year, near the time of King's birthday. On January 17th, 2000, for the first time, Martin Luther King Day was officially observed in all 50 states.
Okay. We observed it here at Adafruit.
We did. All the employees had off. We reflected on King's achievements and the sacrifices. And we had this special note. This is one of our favorite quotes. It's on our website, and it's also in our blog section right now. All labor that uplifts humanity has dignity and importance and should be undertaken with painstaking excellence. Words to think about and to live by.
So next time that you're thinking of maybe commenting on the internet, ask, is this uplifting humanity?
Is it excellence?
And is this excellence?
Probably not.
Well, try to uplift humanity and be excellent.
Imagine if you were writing comments or talking to others and that's what you thought before you did the thing. How can you make someone feel energized and want to do good instead of drained and like just want to set it all on fire?
Yeah, I mean, I would love world peace, but I'm just starting with like comments. I gotta build
it's a good start. Okay. Also, 1775, Ampere, the French physicist, is born. Lady Ada, what is an amp?
An amp is a unit of current, and we actually have a full video about it. And I believe Ampere, I guess he, now I'm trying to remember, he measured it. And I don't know if the Ampere or the Coulomb came first. I think the Ampere came first because an Ampere is 1 volt across one resistor, and I think they knew what 1 volt was, and I think they had a definition for 1 ohm of resistance. But I don't remember actually which was defined first. I gotta go look that up.
Okay.
Because you always say V equals IR, but like,
yeah,
you had to have thought of 2 of them first.
Yeah. Well,
Coulomb is a weird number, so I think the Coulomb was defined first.
There's a lot of new people who have never seen Ask an Engineer. They don't even know about Circuit Playground. So we have a video called A is for Ampere. We're bringing it back. We're going to play it right now.
That's good idea.
Ada, Billy, Connie, Ruby, Mo, Gus, Kathy, Circuit Playground. Uh-oh. Did I break something?
Looks like you tripped the circuit breaker, Adabot.
Wait, who did I trip?
No, the circuit breaker isn't a person, it's a device in that box over there. The circuit breaker turns off all the electricity when we draw too much electrical current.
Oh,
And it's also something only a grown-up should touch.
committed to memory. Wow, powering all my stuff must use a lot of current.
That's right, and we measure electrical current in amperes.
Huh, why do we call it that?
The ampere is named after the scientist, Mr. André Marie Ampere.
Accessing database. André Marie Ampere, a French scientist from the 1800s.
That's right, and Mr. Ampere was very curious about how electricity works.
Curious, like me?
This is true.
And he conducted many experiments to learn about electricity. The results of his experiments showed Mr. Ampere that electricity is created by the movement of many teeny objects, which are so small we can't even see them.
Electrodynamic molecules?
Nowadays, we call these teeny objects electrons. And when electrons move, we call that electrical current.
Makes sense to me.
Oh, now I get it, Lady Ada. But how do we measure amperes?
That's easy. We use a multimeter.
Oh, I wish I had one of those.
In this circuit, electrons flow from one end of the battery, through the LED, and then back to the other end of the battery. By sending the current through a multimeter, we're able to measure the amount of electrons flowing through. So this LED is using...
0.05 amperes.
Correct.
I wish I could see electrons move.
Well, you may not be able to see every single electron, but you can see the effects of electrical current.
Really? How do we do that?
Well, you can see it when your boombox makes sound, or when your toaster heats up, and you can feel it when your blow dryer blows hot air at you.
I get it. Electrical current makes electricity go. Those electrons are amazing.
That's right, Adabot. Hey, you know you don't have any hair, right?
What?
Zut alors!
All right, moving right along. We're into the wearables territory every single week. We have something amazing or new, but this week is a birthday celebration.
Yeah?
Yeah, Flora's 3 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, we announced Flora back in January, I think it was 19th of 2012.
Okay.
And look how little Flora's grown up. Later getting more siblings. There's a Flora and a Gemma and a Trinket. And Lady Ada, why did you make Flora?
I actually made Flora because I wanted something to drive NeoPixels. So Flora was a secondary, even though people think of the Flora as the main board. I made these little sewable pixels with NeoPixels on them, these digitally addressable LEDs. And I wanted to be able to make like LED clothing by sewing the pixels on, and I need something to drive it. And there was no wearable platform at the time that could supply that much current and also had like the right digital pins, and I wanted it to be like programmable over USB. So I looked at a lot of the other wearables around, like I looked at like the LilyPad and looked at the Squareware, and I looked at like whatever else I could find, and came up with something that was round, sewable, USB programmable, could run on a battery, could supply a lot of current to these sewable NeoPixels, and had the pins arranged in a way that would make it really easy to sew onto clothing and add sensor modules. And since then we've added like, I think we have at least 6 sewable sensor modules that when you sew them on, you don't have to worry about crossed pins. They like tile nicely into like a, you know, the threads they all go in like parallel.
Yeah.
This is a symbol for parallel, like my interpretive dance. So that's Flora, and then Gemma is the younger sister for when people want a smaller, lower power, lower cost wearable. But mostly it's a NeoPixel driver. I'll be honest with you. That's kind of why I created it.
Okay. And an update for the folks who are paying attention. So we announced the Arduino Gemma. It's in testing. We have a lot of work to do. Arduino has specific things with packaging and colors and all sorts of stuff. So we have to make sure we hit that perfectly. All sorts of beta testing and approval. Every day we work on it. Coming soon. Next up for wearables, this is the video we didn't get a chance to play last week because we had a special guest, Mitch Altman. So this is the sound jacket. Take it away.
More Colin.
Colin.
Yeah, and she said, "You look outstanding." Like you're outstanding under a drain pipe. Yeah, that one's a crowd pleaser.
Bring your own sound effects to the party by building today's project with the Adafruit Audio FX board and a pair of battery-powered speakers sewn into a blazer.
So ladies and gentlemen, how's everybody doing tonight, huh? Tough crowd.
You can pick up all the parts for this project in the Adafruit shop and follow our step-by-step guide on the Adafruit Learning System. The link is in the description. The Audio FX board makes it easy to load and play whatever sounds you like. No programming required. Shows up like a USB drive when you plug it into your computer. When you find the sounds you like, just drag over the WAV or OGG Vorbis files. To wire up the jacket, first determine the rough placement of your speakers and switches, then solder on any extension wires you may need to route back to the audio board. Use a seam ripper to carefully make openings for wires to route through any pockets and linings your jacket may have. Then install your speakers and switches with the wires convening in one pocket. Add a JST battery connector to the back of the audio board. Solder your speaker wires directly to the outputs marked on the board, and solder your buttons to the trigger pins and ground. Test your circuit before finalizing any of the sewing.
Wow, food here must be fresh, huh? Because that kitchen smells like a farm.
Use a needle and thread to hand stitch the components to the insides of the pockets so they don't shift around. Then plug in your battery pack and try it at your next gig. How would you make this project your own? Let us know in the comments and subscribe for more wearable electronics from Adafruit.
All right, folks, stick a fork in me. I am out of here. Good night.
All right, so there we go. That was an excellent video with Colin. But wait, there's more. Those mittens and those kittens. No, there's just mittens. Here's another video.
Cyber mittens.
This is from today's wearable electronics video that we released. How to make your own conductive thread mittens.
You can use conductive yarn to make any gloves work with your smartphone, and there are lots of these gloves in stores. But if you prefer mittens, you'd be out of luck. Until today, in this project we're knitting a pair of mittens and adding stainless steel conductive yarn so you can use your touchscreen phone or tablet outside in winter. The trick is to knit the conductive yarn in with the regular yarn at the fingers and thumb. The conductive fiber travels through the wool to make good contact with your skin as well as the foam. You can use this yarn in any mitten pattern, but we wrote one to get you started. And you can find that and the step-by-step tutorial for this project in the Adafruit Learning System. The link is in the description. I want to see your smartphone mittens, so post them up online and you can find this project on Ravelry too. Thanks so much for watching, and subscribe for more wearable electronics from Adafruit.
Shoot, take it away, Noah and Pedro. Darn!
There's a lot of videos, so you're getting the sound right, because you have to mute and then unmute. Do you want to say again the Wednesday?
Yeah.
Don't forget, Wearable Wednesday with Becky Stern is every single Wednesday.
Yeah.
What time is it, 2 o'clock?
Yeah,
2 p.m.
it's 2
Eastern
o'clock.
time. No, it's cool. We're just, like, everyone's just crazy here. It's just insanity.
Yeah.
And then don't forget, tomorrow, 3D Thursday at 3 p.m. with Noah and Pedro. Click on the 3D Thursday logo.
Yeah, well.
Okay, now we're going to watch 2 videos from them.
Yeah, here it is.
Hey everybody, Pedro here for Adafruit. Today we're going to be looking at a new flexible material from Fenner Drives. They call it SemiFlex. SemiFlex from NinjaFlex still has the same flexible properties you've come to know and love. The new material is slightly more rigid than the original formula. SemiFlex is quite shiny when compared to what we're used to. And if you remember, we've reviewed PCTPE in an earlier episode, which you can watch here. PCTPE is more rigid but far less flexible. The plus is that it works with Bowden drive systems. SemiFlex, on the other hand, is able to tie the knot and still maintain rigidity, but it still doesn't work on Bowden systems. Trust me, we really tried. It prints with the same temperatures, 220 to 230 degrees. Overhangs are supported far better than the original NinjaFlex. The original NinjaFlex requires something like 30% infill to have enough material for it to stick to. SemiFlex can hold up far better with less infill. Here we're only using 10% and it sticks far better. Retraction is more forgiving, so you'll get less goobers. Although cleanup is still required, and we recommend using our Haku diagonal cutters to clean up your prints. Better rigidity allows standoffs to work inside of enclosures while still maintaining flexibility. It's literally indestructible when compared to PCTPE. PCTPE tends to deform, delaminate, and split when flexed. SemiFlex can make really good snap-together parts like in our flexible armband. Parts securely hold together nice and tight. Pins on our Flora wristband snap in place and hold very tightly. Other differences are that the original NinjaFlex has more elasticity, but SemiFlex has less elongation with more pull strength. SemiFlex has far better shock absorption when compared to the original NinjaFlex, which was a perfect excuse for shooting slow-mo footage of our Raspberry Pi B Plus case hitting the asphalt. It's perfect for rugged projects like drones or weather balloon projects. Other practical uses include grips for keeping our couch from sliding all over the place. SemiFlex has less friction, but great for cushioning. The original NinjaFlex has more friction and is really good gripping power. Let's take a look at an overview of some of the great uses for SemiFlex. SemiFlex offers less friction, it has great shock absorption properties, it's useful in large wearables that need rigidity, it has better retraction attributes, and snap-together parts hold nice and tight. So what practical uses have you found from NinjaFlex? Let us know in the comments below. And so that's NinjaFlex's SemiFlex by Fenner Drives. We carry it in the Adafruit shop. Get it today for your next 3D printing project. Are there any questions about SemiFlex that we didn't get to? Ask us here and we'll answer it live on our 3D printing show. It's on every Thursday at 3 p.m. ET. But until then, we'll see you guys next week.
All right, and just a reminder, tomorrow at 3 p.m. every Thursday. Remember, 3D Thursday, 3 p.m. 3 p.m. Yeah.
3.
Yeah. You know, Pedro will be doing the rounds and showing you the amazing world of 3D printing.
Tomorrow's copper fill, right?
Yeah, I think so. They're gonna have a bunch of
copper
stuff.
fill, bronze fill.
And you're probably saying, well, wait, is there any more? I thought there was a pie segment. Usually there is, but this week it's combined into 2.
Whoa, 2 in 1.
Yeah. So, one more video. This is video week.
And this is the short version of the video, so check YouTube if you want to see the longer, like 5-minute version.
Super pie.
So in this project, we're building a handheld gaming console. This time it's got 12 buttons, an analog joystick, stereo speakers, and a large 5-inch HDMI display. We're using, of course, the Raspberry Pi A Plus and RetroPie, so it's got full-blown emulation station. We call it Super Game Pi. So this is much bigger than our original DIY Game Boy. It's just got more games, bigger screen, sound, and of course, all the buttons. So to make your own Super Game Pi, you're gonna have to 3D print the enclosure, hack an SNES controller, and solder electronics. So you can pick up the Raspberry Pi and all the parts to build this project from the shop at Adafruit.com. You're also gonna need some hand tools and of course, access to a 3D printer. But be sure to check out the full list of materials from the link in the description. So to drive the display, we're using our Adafruit TFP401 display driver, which has onboard HDMI out, and we're just gonna connect this to the Pi. We're also gonna use a 40-pin FBC socket extension, which is gonna make everything fit nicely because we can extend it with this ribbon cable. For the audio setup, we're using our ST2012 2.8 watt Class D amplifier. This thing's pretty small, but it does have 2 audio channels, which is perfect for this project. And for the speakers themselves, we have these cool mini metal speakers in the shop, and we're just gonna mount these to the enclosure by snapping them into place. The electronics are gonna be housed inside the 3D printed enclosure and panel mounted with machine screws. Definitely wanna check out the guide on the Adafruit Learning System for a circuit diagram and a full tutorial. You get the link in the description. So with everything assembled, built, and tested, we now have a 3D printed DIY Game Pi.
All right, so that's it. Okay, so we're changing things up a little bit tonight. We're gonna do a top secret, it's not out yet, and then we're gonna do new products. And then if you're still alive, maybe we'll try to do like 1 or 2 questions.
Okay, we'll do like a
We'll see what we can
round.
do. I know, you've been hanging on.
This might be the one time I'll like make like a really bad electronics mistake.
I don't think it's possible.
That'd be so cool.
Okay, top secret, it's not out yet, don't ask. Raspberry Pi stuff. Lady Ada, this is a screenshot of something very interesting.
It's not out yet. Don't ask.
By Todd and Brennan.
This is the Pi bootstrapper, and this is basically how we're going to create and release the next version of Occidentalis. And this is just a preview. It's software, it runs on Mac, Windows, or Linux, and it helps you turn your fresh Raspberry Pi into a perfect hardware hacking friendly Raspberry Pi. So it'll do all the things that you usually have to do with a Pi to get it set up. It'll be automagic and beautiful and wonderful, and you won't have to go around trying to guess what the IP address is and all that good stuff. So looking forward to it. But no questions, because it's not out yet. Don't ask.
Okay.
Oh, you can ask why there's like why they're using like VI on like a Mac. That's kind of weird. I'm gonna question that. No, I don't know.
Okay. All right, it's not out yet. Don't ask.
Next up.
Next up, I'm going to tell the code.
Oh yeah, it's new products time. Okay,
Code's
let's
Matrix, 10% off, and the Adafruit store all the way up to 11:59 p.m. Don't forget, over $200 for UPS ground, continental U.S. Still use Bitcoins and more. And with that, Lady Ada, it's time for
Look at all the glowy because I have to plug in these matrices.
new products.
It's new product time.
All right.
All right.
So we're going to start with this.
Yeah, this one's easy. This is, well, if you like our really high quality 5-volt 2-amp power supplies, these are great for single board computers.
You'll love these.
You'll really, really like this, especially if you're not an American citizen or Japanese citizen or Canadian citizen or Bermuda. If you are, it actually comes with a US plug too. This version, hey, can you hide me for a second?
Sure, I'll hide you.
It comes with European, British, Australian, and American plugs. So these are like the 4, I think these are the only 4 plugs you can ever really use, and they snap into the power supply. And so you can take this on the go, and it's the same high quality power supply. It works with, 110 volts up to 240 volts. Can you just look through them really fast?
I'm going to flip through these really fast.
British, Australian, European, American. Very high quality supply. The reason it takes us so long to do this is because we want to make sure we get UL, FCC, and CE certified high quality supplies. This is a really, really good supply, and it has 5.3 volt output and 20 gauge wires. And we do that so that if you're drawing 2 amps, the problem is like a lot of places they cheap out and they have the cable has very thin wires. So when you draw 2 amps at the end of the wire, the voltage is dropped down to 4.3 volts or 4.5 volts, and your stuff browns out, and you corrupt your SD card, and everything sucks, and it like cycle boots, and it's like no good. If you want to run a single board computer, you definitely want to have like very good quality power, and so this one has extra thick wires and a slightly higher than 5 volt output voltage, and so we put this on our load meter so that when you draw 2 amps, you still have like 4.95 at the end of the cable. So you'll definitely be able to run your 5 volt Raspberry Pi or whatever single board computer without having to worry about brownouts from the supply. So I'm just telling you why this is such an excellent supply.
Okay.
Most people think the power supply is the one part they can cheap out. It's not.
Okay.
Get a good
What
power
are these?
supply.
What is this?
This is an IDC helper that's 20 pin, and I will show this on the overhead because it's kind of cool and interesting. So if you do electronics, you're probably like, hey, I've got IDC cables.
Okay.
Like the one for this matrix. And IDC cables are 2 pin. Wait, let me zoom in. They're like from like a Raspberry Pi or something. They're 2 by 20 pin long, and so if you have like a breadboard, like you can't plug them in because the middle has the gap. And then if you plug them in over here, then the pins are connected together, and you'd have to cut the traces. So chances are you've probably experienced this frustration. So what's nice about this is it's a little socket that is exactly 0.3 inches across. So it plugs across here, and then you can plug this header in like so. Hold on, I gotta get leverage. There you go. And then you can now plug in an IDC cable into like a PermaProto. I've personally used it with solderless breadboards where I plug this in the solderless breadboard into the middle. I think it depends on your brand of solderless breadboard because I found that as long as you press it in, it'll stick, but sometimes it doesn't, so it's up to you. But you can also like, thicken the wires or something. But it's perfect for use with PermaProtos and other solderful breadboards, not solderless breadboards. So it just makes it's basically like a high cobbler or any kind of IDC breakout. Very simple, very low cost, but works really great.
Okay.
If you have IDC cables, you can use this and just cut it into pieces as you need.
Okay. The star of the show, besides you tonight, is the RGB Matrix hat with clock.
Real-time clock built in. Wow, look at this beautiful photo of a cube. This is the demo that it comes with. Although we have a Python library as well, thanks to Paint Your Dragon. And if you've seen these beautiful RGB matrices, this is like something that we've carried for a very long time. The Raspberry Pi, somebody actually wrote a really cool library that can bit bang these displays on a Raspberry Pi, and even though the Raspberry Pi doesn't have like a real-time operating system, like it is Linux, it's running stuff in the background, the Pi is fast enough and it has enough pins that it can just blast through and basically draw colors. Even though it's not like perfect, beautiful 32-bit color, it's pretty damn good. Like you can barely notice. You know, if you have very dim colors, maybe you'll notice a little flickering.
Okay.
But it's really beautiful.
There's a lot going on here. Do you want to try to show this?
Yeah. So I thought.
I got some photos, but
No, we should.
do you want to go to the overhead and try to show this thing?
Let's show the overhead. Maybe.
I could turn off some
No,
lights.
let's go to the main camera.
You go to the main camera? All right.
Yeah, hold on. How am I going to do this?
Okay, want me to hold up 2 or something?
Yeah, maybe hold on.
Wow, neat.
Okay, wait. This is. Hold on.
I think it's messing up the camera. That's cool. It's messing up the camera.
No. This one. This is gonna go this way. You have to hold this one. You put this down.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry. Confusion.
We could do it across the bottom.
Okay. Look at this.
It looked like it belongs.
Look. We're professionals. So you can chain these together. There's this cable. There's a power cable and there's an IDC cable, and you can chain them together. So, for example, this is like a spectrograph demo, and it's got 4 32 by 32 panels. And it's like, you know, it can do full color. Like, I think it can do like 16-bit color with this many panels. Basically, the more panels you add, the harder the Pi has to work. So this is kind of the most pixels you'd want, 32 by 128. Also gets kind of expensive. So this is pretty nice. But you can draw graphics and images and 16-bit color, and it's cool, and rotating squares. Game of Life. There's also like a Game of Life demo.
All right.
And the hat, which plugs into a Raspberry Pi Model A or B, doesn't A plus or B plus, doesn't work with the Model A or B. It doesn't have enough pins, so you have to use the A plus or the B plus. It has a real-time clock on it as well. So with the addition of a coin cell battery, you can have the Pi remember the time even if it loses power. Which is kind of handy if you want to make a good display that has some sort of clock or date type thing, which is pretty common. So I thought, hey, let's toss a RTC on it. Also has a really nice power supply protection circuit. So whatever you plug into the DC jack, if it's not 5 volts, it won't destroy your Pi. I mean, I wouldn't like try to destroy it, but if you plug in 9 volts or 12 volts by accident, it will not destroy your matrices in your Pi. It will just not work. So it's very fancy, and we've got some great code. We're gonna have some cool projects to do with it as well. So if you have these RG matrices and you want to use them with a Pi, this hat will make your life much easier.
All right. Those new products. Okay, so if you saw stuff and you want to buy some of that stuff, Matrix, let's go 10% off all the way up till 11:59 p.m. tonight Eastern time. Keep that in mind. Lady Ada, we're going to do a speed round of questions.
Yeah, let's do
before you NyQuil it up.
Totally.
The nighttime sniffly sneezing medicine I can't believe.
You giant freaking Q.
Yeah. I can't believe I made a 7-layer board design. That's what happens when you get loopy. Do you just like make crazy designs, or what do you do?
I just like play Candy Crush.
You play Candy Crush? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So
sometimes I send weird emails.
Okay. All right. So here it is. Questions. Ask your questions in the chats. We'll get to them as fast as we can. Lady Ada, what is your favorite programming language? Someone had already queued up a question.
My favorite programming language?
Yeah.
It's actually a question. I was thinking about it a while ago, and I write most of my code in like C, C++.
Yeah.
But I kind of like Python.
Okay.
But I also kind of like Perl, which is weird because I shouldn't like it, but I'm just so used to it.
Okay.
And I don't know. I like C-like languages, so like.
Okay.
I consider C, C++, and Java like kind of all the same language.
Yeah. Last time I had to do serious stuff was Java. So.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, I know. I showed you. You saw my bank thing that doesn't work anymore.
Yeah,
that
you
sucked.
totally.
Anyways, okay.
I like C, C++, but like I really like memory management. So.
Okay. I'm just going to skip around. Can we get the option for more than one wish list on this site? Yes, we're doing a major upgrade on wish list soon, so you'll have that. Next up, someone wants to know, is the Flora Ultimate GPS module functionality identical to the regular Ultimate GPS breakout?
It's very much the same, except it doesn't have level shifting in a regulator. But
Okay.
the GPS itself is the same.
Okay. Someone said, do we know about the Maker Show? Remember when Brooke stopped by from PrinterBot? That show got announced today. So 10 p.m. on, I think, the Science Channel.
What? Really?
Yeah, it's called American Makers.
Oh,
Remember
yeah.
we told me? So it's starting tonight.
Okay.
Think about Wednesday night. You have
This is
Show and
sweet.
Tell, Ask an Engineer,
Okay, everybody go watch it.
Wearable Electronics with Becky Stern, And then at 10 o'clock at night, when this is all over, you've
Is
got...
it a reality show? What is it?
Yeah, he goes and talks to makers and everything.
Oh, cool.
All right, next up.
Okay.
Off topic, we got some shout outs at ShmooCon. That's cool.
Okay, great.
Next up.
Great.
Could you make an adapter to make the hat work with a beagle bone?
The beagle bone can. Yeah, you would have to like wire all the wires separately. The nice thing about this hat is it does the 3-volt to 5-volt conversion. You could. Yeah, I think you'd probably have to just like take the pins, they're broken out, and then wire them to your beagle bone. It's only like 12 wires. It's not too bad. Just wire up 5-volt, 3-volt, and then the 12 logic pins.
Okay, can you use a floor to drive a Fona?
You can technically, but it's just like you have to solder the wires, and I also haven't like super tested it.
Okay. Next up, I'm accustomed to stepping through my code in AVR Studio. I started using Arduino lately. Is there a method for stepping through code for debugging?
No.
Okay.
There is not.
Ask the Arduino list. They would love to hear from you on that one.
Yeah, go bother them.
Yeah.
Don't bother them. They know.
Yeah.
Arduino is meant to be simplified enough that you would not need step through debugging. It does not have support
Okay.
for IC.
Who's your PC advanced circuits we use? How many iterations does it take before you typically get a PC prototype correct? Usually 1 or 2. You've been like...
Sometimes I'm like, lately, like half of them are done on the first run, on the first proto. And then sometimes it's a minor tweak, like, oh, the package was slightly off, and I'll get it in the second run. But we've had Rev G and Rev I. And like by Rev H, I'm like, dude, we got to finish this thing.
Okay. Next up, when is Adafruit.io coming out? We're in beta. We've added some more people. When it's done, we want it to be really good. Next up, this person won the NeoPixel Jewel 7 some time ago, and I put it into a flashlight together with an ATtiny85. Now I want to know if you have any good idea for a switch that fits inside that changes modes by hitting the lamp.
Well, we have a vibration switch. So you want to try the slow vibration switch and wire that up to one of the I/O pins, and then when you whack it, it'll think of that as like a button press. So like a slow vibration switch is probably what you want.
How does one determine the safe way to use an undocumented rechargeable battery like the one I harvested from a non-functional Palm Zaire?
It should say the voltage on it, 3.6 volts or 3.7, and that'll let you know what kind of lithium-ion or polymer battery. It's almost certainly a lithium-ion battery. I think all Palm portables did. But if it's not 3.7, don't charge it with the 4.2, 3.7 charger. Not good.
Okay. Next up, I'm putting an LED lit crown molding in my living room. I'm thinking of using 30 LED per meter NeoPixel, controlling with an Arduino. My main concern is power supply. It's going to be about 6 linear feet crown molding to illuminate, so I'll need about 18 meters of LED strips. Would 2 10-amp 5-volt power supplies be sufficient?
You'll need, well, it depends. If they're all white, you'll need 60 milliamps per, but chances are you're not going to be lighting all the LEDs white at once. So you'll have to kind of calculate how many LEDs are lit and then multiply by 20 milliamps each. It kind of depends on what patterns you're displaying.
Okay. Any new at Mega 328 variants coming from the Adafruit shop?
No, I just finished the Pro Trinkets, and I kind of like them, so I think I'm going to stick with those.
Okay. What's the best battery pack that I can use on my B Plus with Wi-Fi camera module that hosts a local web server?
If you want to have a portable Pi, then we have a 10 amp hour battery pack. It's like 10.5 USB amp hour battery pack, and that'll like last you quite a while.
Okay. Are there any Mojo plus 32 by 64 RGB matrix tutorials?
Nope, we have one for the FPGA Dio Nano, but not for the Mojo. But ask around, maybe somebody's written one. It's very likely. People love to drive these matrices with them.
Okay. Are blue LEDs more expensive than red LEDs?
Are they? They tend to be, yes.
Okay. Do you suggest upgrading from A plus or B plus from Model B?
B plus.
Yeah,
I like the B plus.
I really like the A plus though.
I know, but it doesn't have Ethernet.
I know. I really
and
like it.
I think if you have a B and you're used to the B, then the B plus is an upgrade. Whereas an A plus is a very interesting device, but it can be more challenging. It doesn't have Ethernet. It doesn't have many USB ports.
Okay, we got through them. Thank you so much. Whew, it's a good round. Good speed round.
Sweet.
Okay, so
Great.
with that being said, we're almost done with the show.
Okay.
I just want to remind everybody the code is Matrix, 10% off for the next couple hours. Get on it. And tonight, we're giving away something. It's a trivia question. Rules are, if you've won before, you can't win again. Sorry, that's the way it goes.
One winner per my lifetime.
Yeah, and
The The first person to type the correct answer
That's
in the
right.
chat is YouTube and Ustream synced up tonight? Or which one?
That's close enough.
Okay, YouTube or Ustream will look at both.
Yeah, we're looking at both. So here's the trivia question of the night. Just wait, go like that. Yeah, do that. What is the name of the Hackaday? The Hackaday thing. You have to cover that. Cover this part. No, like, go like that. Go like that. There you go. What is the name?
What am I covering
I'm just
up?
looking for the one name of it, but
Man, I totally
you're gonna win
screwed
it.
this up.
It's okay. What is the
I'm so
name of
sorry.
the new Hackaday graphic novel thing? It's okay. It's fine. They can go on their site and see it. So if you win, you're gonna win this. People always say the answer is 42, but it's not true. All right, people are typing in stuff. Whoever types it in the chat.
What am I covering up with my hands?
Oh, this is great. The YouTube folks who are usually a couple seconds behind got it. The first person to answer was Brett Stewart. Congratulations, Brett Stewart. You won the Omnibus. Now, Brett, I need you to email support@adafruit.com. And when you email support@adafruit.com, put attention Phil, and you're going to get an Adafruit coloring book, and you're going to get the Omnibus, and I'm going to throw in these stickers that Hackaday sent us. So you get it all.
So tell them that you got the coloring
Yeah.
book, the Omnibus, and these stickers.
Yeah, these are stickers. And a little bit of trivia. I designed that logo 10 years ago, so it's like, and I never got around to making stickers.
Look
This
at
is
this fine collection of prizes.
All right.
Okay.
Congratulations,
Is it
Brett.
NyQuil time?
It's NyQuil time.
Yeah! NyQuils and pull requests. I was going to have a party tonight.
Okay, that's the show tonight, folks. We're here every single week, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please, please, please visit the Adafruit site. Go to learn.adafruit.com. Check out all the cool things going on Twitter, on Google+. Thank you so much, everyone, all the Adafruit staff members who stopped by tonight, all the people that are here. You know what, one thing we promised that we would always do? We will never have a studio. We will always be in the Adafruit factory, because that's where we started, and that's where we're always going to be. This is one of the staff members. This is our factory. We are in shipping. So anyways,
I'm getting excited for this NyQuil.
you're going to get excited for NyQuil. Brought to you by NyQuil.
Call Digi-Key until you have a non-catalog request.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much, everyone. We really appreciate it. Shout out to George Graves, who's staying a little bit later, too, for recording the show.
Thanks.
You're at Oxygen. Okay. Don't forget,
I'd
Codes
buy
Matrix. Here's a picture of a cat. We'll see you guys next week. Here is your moment of Zener.